give me a minute to talk about the mercies of God. I'm going to make a reference to the story of Hezekiah. This morning I was reading from the book of Isaiah, and then I read the story of Hezekiah when he was king of Judah and he was being threatened by the king of Assyria. Like, they literally came to the walls and, they were insulting Hezekiah, insulting Judah, insulting the God of heaven and whatnot. He was basically telling him that he had conquered every other nation around him. So who does he think he is that he would not be conquered? So like they should surrender and whatnot. And what Isaiah did, or what Hezekiah, did, really caught my attention. Eventually letters were sent and whatnot. And my Bible tells me that Hezekiah took the letters that was sent, went before God and spread out the letters and told God, like, okay, this is what is going on, this is what is happening. Initially, when I was reading, I was like, oh, who does this king of Assyria think he is? How dare he threaten the God of Israel and so on? And, I was just like, does he not know God and whatnot? But the prayer of Hezekiah caught my attention, and I realized that of a truth, he wasn't lying. Yeah, he was not lying. Genuinely, he had conquered other nations. So when Hezekiah went before God, he told God that, okay, this is what this man has said. This is what he has written. And truly, every nation around us has been conquered. We are literally the only ones left to be defeated. And this is what he's saying about us. This is how he's insulting or profaning your name, and so on. And eventually, God sent a message to him through Isaiah, which was fulfilled in the latter chapters of that book. And I realized during my prayer, I was, when I got to the point of praying, I realized that of a truth, most times we tend to kind of overlook the mercies of God, or we tend to put on a facade or a lie or pretend or come before God and expect him to be a magician. We don't really say things the way they are. Praying for God's mercy or needing the mercy of God most times does not require you to lie or to pretend to be a different person or to pretend or lie about your situations. For instance, or let's use a case study. You perform poorly in an examination. Most times, let me use myself for example. I might come before God and say, God, I'm trusting in you that this result will come out well and whatnot. Why am I not seeing the truth in prayer? Why am I not seeing that of a truth, dear God, based on what I know that I wrote in that examination, I'm expected to fail this exam, or I'm expected to get an F and whatnot. But please show me mercy. Change things around. Like, I know that God is not a magician, but there's a place where grace, favor, or his mercy speaks for you, speaks for your script and whatnot, before whoever it needs to, you need to find favor and so on. And so I realized from that prayer of Hezekiah that most times we tend to even lie to ourselves in prayer. We deceive ourselves and believe that we're also deceiving God, or expecting God to tag along like whatever we're saying, or perform the magic or the miracle or whatever we're expecting him from. Hezekiah went before God and he spoke the truth. In fact, when I was reading my Bible, I was reading with sense of pride, like, who does this man think he is? I literally wrote a comment in my Bible like, how dare he insult the God of Israel and whatnot. But when I read, when I got to the point of the prayer of Hezekiah, I realized that he wasn't lying. He has actually conquered every nation around him. So Hezekiah just brought the reality of things. What he said was, of a truth, this man has actually conquered every other nation. And this is what he's saying. This is how he's profaning your name, insulting us, insulting you, the God of heaven, and so on. So Lord, we cannot do this on our own, because if we go in our strength, he has what it takes to conquer us. So we need you to show up for us. And that is where the mercies of God spoke for him. Hezekiah did not need to go to battle. He did not need to fight. These people woke up, and the angel of the Lord, if you read through the remaining chapters, the angel of the Lord killed about, I think, 185,000, but a massive number of soldiers were killed when they woke up the next day, and they had to retreat by themselves. The king of Assyria went back to his hometown and died, as the Lord had prophesied through Isaiah and so on. So God genuinely also expects us to be truthful with ourselves and to be truthful with him. He's not a magician. Yes, he's a miracle worker, but he's not a magician, and he's still in the business of showing mercy. When you first of all accept the reality of things, tell yourself the truth, tell God the real truth about your situation or whatever it is, and his mercies will always pick up for you or show up for you. So that's what I realized this morning, and I'm like, oh, I feel like, let me share this. I hope that you find this helpful. I hope that somebody finds it helpful. Thank you, and see you some other time. Bye.